You know, a lot of people go to Bali to find themselves. I was engaged to a wonderful man for 7 years, but I decided that I wanted to chase my dream life. I wanted to escape, and I just felt like I needed freedom. I packed everything up, I sold everything, and I got to Bali. 2 months in, I moved into a villa and I met the partner that I was with, and life got really dark then after 2 months in Bali. I completely lost my identity. I was in survival mode, I guess, a few months before the accident. And me and my partner, my ex-partner, we had split up, and then we decided to try things again. So he suggested that we go and climb the highest volcano in Bali. Is called Mount Agung. And then on the day to go to the volcano, we were just on our bikes like normal. And I see this truck. I'm driving down the hill. This truck comes beside me really fast, because that's what they do. And I slow down, but it was too late. By that time, the back of the truck had hit my body, and my bike went this way, but my right arm got sucked into the truck. Now that truck was going like 60 miles per hour downhill, didn't stop. So you can see how far it had me stuck in it. And as I was going down, something pulled me out. But as I got pulled out, of course, all flesh from my arm came off. I was just laid by the side of the road at this point. The truck had gone. And my partner was in front of me. And of course, as I picked up my arm to see what had happened, I screamed his name. And I'll never forget his face when he turned around. He was like a ghost. He didn't know what to do. And I'm saying to my ex-partner, call an ambulance. Because we were in this small town, I was there for an hour and 30 minutes just begging for my life, screaming for help. And when the ambulance, I say ambulance, a very, very small car came, all they had was a rag and a piece of wood. And I remember when I got into the ambulance, and I was thinking, there's no chance I'm making it. There's no medication in this ambulance, there's nothing. And they looked at me like I was not going to make it. They wheeled me in, and I remember lying there with maybe 8 doctors around me. It was like I was dancing between heaven and hell, like, why can no one hear me? I'm screaming, I'm here. Help me, give me medication. And they said the only option is to get her into the main hospital, which is 2 hours away. When we got to the second hospital, I was saying things like, just let me die, no one's going to want me now. And by this point, I lost half my blood supply, so I should have been dead. And I had 4 life or death surgeries in over a week. So I shouldn't have made it through all of them, let alone the first surgery. So when the drugs started to wear off and I kind of understood what was going on, I had this anger, like, what kind of a God does that? What kind of a God allows that? Doctors told me, Charlene, you won't use your hand again. I spent every night also wanting to kill myself because I was alone. My ex-partner, he walked away from me a month after the accident. I couldn't understand what had happened, why. But after those 2 or 3 months, something changed, and I accepted it. I accepted everything. My life changed, and I found Jesus. One night I was in Bali, and I kind of broke down. And I remember I was just praying, and I said, I don't understand, why would you save me, for what? I closed my eyes and I seen Jesus on the cross, but it wasn't a face. I just seen the thorns, and I seen all of the blood, but at the same time, as I was seeing that, I was reliving the flesh being torn off of my own arm. And I remember being on my knees in the room and crying and saying, okay, it was you, Jesus, it was you who saved me. That moment changed everything to me, because I will never be able to describe the pain I went through, which was just my right arm. What Jesus, Yeshua, went through, this is like a fraction of it, is nothing compared to the torture that he went through. You can see that my hand is stuck like this, right? And these 2 scars, of course there were other stitches, but they faded away, but it's left like a perfect cross. I just look down and I see that, and it's just this beautiful reminder that He found me, even though he found me in the blood and the wreckage, he found me, and I don't have to wear a cross around my neck because I have one here. You know the Japanese, it's called kintsugi, where they take something broken. That's how I think about Jesus, right? He comes for the broken, and then he puts us back together with this gold and makes something just beautiful and restored. I love the story about the woman at the well. With Jesus, he didn't condemn her for her husbands. He revealed her, and then he restored her. And that is how I view the way that he's came to me, right? Even though I've done all of these things, he didn't shame me. And so this scar here, it's like my life's journey, right? It's not straight. We fall off, we sin. That's the love that is available to us. Jeremiah 32:27, I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me? I think that verse is just like a personal declaration over my life. It's a reminder that it was him that transformed me. It wasn't Charlene, because I got lost in that after the accident. And so that verse really humbles me to remind me that the transformation is and always will be him and not me. 6 months ago, I said, okay, just take everything away from me that isn't you. These desires to be seen, the desires for the material things I had, the old Charlene, she's gone. I don't want any of that anymore. Of the 33 years of my life, there's nothing that's fulfilled me more from turning to Jesus Christ than I've ever experienced. I truly believe the truck came as full force. Wake up, Charlene. I just want to leave a legacy of love, and the love that I can share with people through Jesus. That's all I want now, which is completely different to the Charlene before. Yeah.